Welcome dear audience, it's time to talk about some fests. This time it's all about Steelchaos 2020. As you are already aware, this year has been pretty much fracked by this COVID virus thing and epidemics, which means most of the festivals around the world have been cancelled, and we, as the metal audience that is, have been quite frustrated with the lack of these gigs and performances that was supposed to be here and save our dates. Save our days also. One of the biggest things that started to annoy me, but couldn't do a jack shit about it, is that Steelfest 2020 got cancelled. Great lineup, which meant that I was gonna see a lot of good bands, interview lots of good bands, meet some friends, and just in general enjoy the great festival feeling. Then, way before coronavirus entered the game, things got cancelled, and even though things got a lot better in Finland already by May, all these events, were forced to cancel because, well, obviously you can't take the risk of epidemics getting away. Now, as I'm making this towards the end of June 2020, things are much different. And meanwhile, these fests of summer 2020 are already and still cancelled. We're starting to get there with some nice positive news, and that means, my friends, those fests coming and happening in the fall on winter 2020 seems to be happening, at least here in Finland anyway. So in this video I'm gonna tell you about Steelchaos 2020, which takes place in the very last weekend of October 2020, so almost like November by then. Now the venue is different, and also the lineup, because of COVID, is very different what it could be in case this epidemics never took place. But we're not here to speculate more what COVID can and can't do. We're here to just celebrate the good news, talk about the lineup, and then some basic information you all need to know. Because, and why, the thing is, COVID is still causing a little bit problems in so many ways. There are economic problems, that is, how many rates are going, and also how flights are not certain just yet, anyway, during the summer, and all those basic information what you might need to know in case you're just a first-timer coming to Finland, and even if you are a Finnish person, maybe why you should consider coming to Steelchaos 2020. Now this lineup is very interesting because it's all Finnish black metal. That is purely 100% Finnish thing. And that is something different, not only for us Finns residing in Finland, because we've seen a lot of Finnish bands, but obviously for us foreign bands are very welcome because they are not the type of bands you get to see every weekend here. But even more so, I think, for people outside Finland, because this kind of lineup is phenomenal. It's spectacular. It's beyond our wildest dreams. You get the crème de la crème kind of Finnish black metal thing. Well, almost all the most important bands from Finnish black metal scene are playing there. Obviously, some bands and players will be missed. You really can't get them all like that, but I don't think you can really beat this lineup. So let's take a look at this lineup first, and then I will guide you about the information which you need to know. So towards the end we're gonna talk about these realities about festival, but as it now seems, this is very much gonna take place, so you can already start checking out for your flights, hotels, and get your mind set for late October festival. And why so? Well, this band list is gonna tell you a lot of story about that. Here we have Steelfest main page, or actually the Steelchaos main page, which resides at steelfest.fi, and we'll start scrolling. So this is called Finnish Black Metal Storm, and it has these kind of confirmed artists: Impel Nazarene, Archgoat, True Werewolf, Horna, Varigrove, Sargeist, Parathrum, Azakal, Thyrain, True Black Dawn, Urn, Anti-Materia, White Death, Morgal, Assessor, Warmoon Lord, Morgal again, Korgan Thurus, Sacrilegious Impalement, Kalmankanda, Abythus, Blackbeast, Lord of Bagathorn. If that doesn't get you exhausted, in the terms of Finnish black metal, I don't know what will. We could start pondering like, okay, there isn't baptism, there isn't band like Enochian Christian. Let's just stop with that. Like I said, it's impossible to get all of them. But even so, this is way more that personally I could dream about. And, well, let's start going with the list. So if we can go the other way, this list from down to upwards, I'll explain. Lord of Pagato, one of the 1990s black metal bands from northern part of Finland. 2 great albums out, more coming. If you have ever watched my reviews and you still don't know the band, watch more or actually listen to the band. Very good band and not too often seen live. It's good, both live and albums. Check it out. Black Beast is a newcomer from Finland, Helsinki based. Has also veterans of the scene. There's an interview out, by the way, which I did last year. And also a good debut album that came out. Bythos is something that might need kind of a introduction because they have one album out. But what makes this album worthwhile is that he has members from Horna, Bihexen, Trollheimsgrot, and then some. Well, all these guys are more or less veterans of black metal. Melodic black metal in a vein of a newcomer but having old veterans. Kalmanganta is one of the Hyvinkää residents, and Hyvinkää being the city where this festival, as much as Steelchaos and Steelfest, both take place. And Kalmanganta is one of those more atmospheric black metal bands which you should be checking out in case you are in the first place in Finnish atmospheric black metal. Very, very active band, but not often seen on stage versus how many albums they have out. Now, Sacrilegious Impalement is one of those kind of raw and fast-paced and aggressive bands. Not too often playing live, but a solid band, which is something that you also should be, once again, checking out. Interesting to see them after a while, at least personal anyway. Now, Korkantrus is mostly known as the band by ex-Horna vocalist, and as such it has created a career which is very much worth checking out. All albums are rather good. So once again, a kind of a band that you should not miss, but it's kind of a possible that you haven't seen this on stage or heard an album because it's not one of the most active bands. Actually, they disbanded already once or twice, so no wonder if you have missed it, gone under your radar. Then we have Morgal, one of the newcomer bands from Finland. I mean, they're rather young guys, they're very passionate, and they made one of the best albums in 2018. Well, it's an EP technically, but anyway. There's also an interview on Rauta channel, which I strongly recommend you checking out. Some people say it's cringe and all that stuff, but I think it's very passionate and very honest. Really good band, one of my favorites from Finland anyway. Now, War Moon Lord is also one of the best newer bands coming from Finnish black metal scene because it's raw and it's very much like a paying kind of homage to French black metal. I think their debut album is really good, and even though their follow-up to that wasn't as great, it's still definitely worth checking out. An interesting band for sure. Now, Azazel is probably the one of the bands that could be named as a meme band. Old as fuck and kind of a original in Finnish black metal mentality. Definitely drunken show, so expect things to happen. Then we are Mortal another time. Well, we're gonna skip it. Whitehead is also one of those Eastern Finnish black metal bands which is not there out with a big discography, but solid lineup once again and good music. Melodic black metal for people who understand, how Finnish black metal is made. Now, Antimateria is one of those bands which never got a lot of recognition, maybe because it's kind of been under the radar. For example, I have only heard like one song, but at least I know which we're checking out. So one of those bands you might have missed, but definitely worth checking out. Earn, then again, is one of those black trash bands. Old as hell also, at least if you take a look at the roots. So veterans of the scene are very much playing kind of a black trash aggression, and I think it's a good counterbalancing, kind of a contrast to so many other bands here because they're a little bit different in their style, being not so typical, not so conservative second wave black metal. True Black Dawn shouldn't need explanation because it's one of the strongest ones in my opinion as well. Unfortunately also one of the bands that hasn't been putting out albums so often, but still a solid band, both live and albums. So once again, really strong bands. And I keep saying this all so strong because that is how this lineup actually is. Terrain is a band that made a kind of a comeback not too long time ago. Their original album which was actually originally a demo, is one of the best Finnish black metal demos of all time. After then, they went to different direction and not so many people actually liked it, but it's something different, something good, and I think it's worth checking out, even if not maybe the best band here. Asakal is doing a special set, and it's also one of those Hyvinkää-based bands. Well, never been exactly my favorite band in Finnish black metal scene, but I think they're doing some solid stuff, also being very active both on stage and with albums. So it's one of those hard workers that, you know, work might have been kind of undermined by people, but I think there's something really, really Finnish with the band. So once again, worth checking out in case you have missed it. And also an interview of Asakal is there on Rauta, and those same words apply to Baratrum, also one of the oldest active Finnish black metal bands, which is never a letdown. You can kind of feel the danger on stage when Baratrum takes it. It might be a total drunk show, it might be just something different, it might be total butt kicking. Definitely an experience you don't want to miss. And did I mention interview? Sargeist was previously known as kind of a Horna Bihexen side project kind of a thing, but later on, since the lineup went totally different ways, Sargeist has actually put more gas to the pedal with the newer lineup, and it's actually, I think, stronger than ever before. Also, very solid band on stage and on albums, so definitely worth checking out in case you just happen to be a fan of Finnish black metal. Nothing really surprising there, but just quality. Vargrav actually is a band also from Hyvinkää, featuring some members of other bands, which might be mentioned here. I'm not going to go into details, you can pretty much check out from the Metal Archives. But Vargrav's music is kind of more of a homage with its synth-driven black metal to bands like as Emperor and the like, so experience this symphonic thing and more kind of atmospheric stuff versus the more traditional kind of aggression and rawness. What actually exactly is Horna, for instance? I think Horna is one of the most typical Finnish black metal bands, and I'm saying this only in good words. That is, Horna is one of the bands that other bands get compared to. Why so? Because they're goddamn active, they are a real workhorse pair of real deal. You know, doing a lot of albums, a lot of shows, and never letting you down. Well, there are some examples on YouTube, probably where you might see these guys going drunk and still playing a show, but hey, that's rock and roll, right? Now, The True Werewolf is also interesting because it's actually a Satanic Warmaster kind of a spin-off. Some say it's more video game-driven black metal, where Werewolf, the Mr. Main guy, is actually just doing his own ambition band thing. Well, you can just listen to the rumors, or you can actually listen to the music. A good band that actually put out a good album this year also, so expect something new. Personally, I don't think I have even seen True Werewolf on stage, so it will be an interesting one. And then we have the big major players, not that Horna and others wouldn't be that, but we have these real veterans of the genre, Imbel Nazarene and Archgoat. You know, Archgoat is one of the oldest, you know, with Beherit and the like, one of the real first wave of Finnish black metal, and their Black Death kind of a, you know, goat worship kind of stuff is something that really works like a charm every time these guys go on stage. And obviously works great on album as well. So I think all the respect and all the praise they get from the audience is really, really well deserved. Why? Because these guys are no bullcrap. These are the real deal. And they're gonna play, I think, one of the best shows on this event. Then we have one more left, Imbel Nazarene. Also one of the first wave bands of Finnish black metal, which are always giving you the middle fingers, non-apologetic, and not saying the words. You might experience some really interesting live, because you never know what Mr. Sir Lieutenant the vocalist might be doing, spitting his guts out with his opinions, which are something really, really irritated kind of stuff. So really something special. Oh, and forgot to mention, we have Archgoat interview also on Rauta, and we have Satanic Warmaster interview also on Rauta, and Horna interview. So you get the plenty of interviews already of this lineup. I'm still trying to get Lieutenant to do a Rauta interview with us as well, because I mean, I've done before Rauta some interview, but that is in Finnish, so it really doesn't help you that much. So all in all, really, really strong lineup of Finnish black metal, missing only some important names, but maybe not the key names, in fact. Well, you don't have Beherit here, but who does? And then we go to the actual information now that we have gone through this massive lineup of Finnish black metal bands. So here's the basic information, what it means. And this is a little bit actually outdated already, and I will show you the updated version. Here it actually says that, it's likely that the limitations will be gone by October, but at least it seems at the moment that they are already confirmed. So it seems like October is very, very much open, free borders, and ready to happen. But in case something backfires and these limitations and regulations will be set again, well, in that case, it basically becomes like this: first by, first in. So that is, if the event is limited to, say, 1,000 people, first 1,000 ticket purchase, once ticket buyers will get in, and that away from that, they will be, destined to come out. If that it's 1,500 people, that means the first 1,500 people will go in, and so forth. So now it seems it's really, really likely that this will be the 2,000 plus people getting in. So don't be afraid to book your tickets, because there's also this thing called no risk. So what it says here in essence is that you might be told to stay in quarantine or cannot travel due to traveling prohibitions between your traveling country/area Finland. In these scenarios of your ticket and pre-sales merchandise, we will refund you. So that it means if you now buy the ticket, but for reason whatsoever, your country is not letting you enter a plane or go away to a different country and blah, 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 you will get refunded. If your COVID plan changes, that you're in risk of getting one or risk of spreading it and you are prohibited from flying or whatever, you will be refunded. So there is no risk to get a ticket and to book yourself a place at Steelchaos 2020. Now here I have more information about, this is basically the same information that you saw already here on the page. But this is actual quote from the main man, the main promoter of the fest. And in case you don't want to read it from the screen, I will quote here. And it says like this: as Steelchaos venue Nosturi, which was in Helsinki previously, doesn't exist anymore, I have been searching for a new venue for Steelchaos. Steelchaos at Nosturi was always success as it was sold out, and it was sold out. But the negative side, also full packed. Yeah, it's downer. As your feedback has been, keeping up with good variety of bands, cheaper and good selection of drinks would be nice, and proper merch and food selling points needed. These will be addressed here. That is what Steelchaos needs and deserves. Now we will have these on the new venue. Steelchaos 2020 will be organized at Villa Tedas, Hyvinkää, the very same place where Steelfest has been taking place for a long time, or always been. And with this new venue for Steelchaos, we can hit all our targets. A lot of space for audience, beer, drink, terraces, cloakrooms, toilets without any or minimum queue. So basically we can improve all our services and make the whole festival more enjoyable, and that's a double thumbs up. Of course, we have to make a lot of adjustments. It's autumn time, so obviously there is not going to be an outside stage or any services outside. That's kind of a given, because, I mean, at the end of October, it will be quite cold and everybody wants to go inside rather than freezing, outside. The stage will be in the hall where also one of the Steelfest stage has been, that is the inside stage. Straight outside of the hall, we will have built a temporary, fully covered and heated area for beer terraces with food trucks, merch, selling points, etc. And investments will be significant, but, well, they will bring you results. So with all these really great information, no need to back up from your plans to go to Hyvinkää, even though Steelfest 2020 got cancelled, because Steelchaos 2020 is here to kick your ass. And in case you want to know where this Hyvinkää is, well, it's not too far from Helsinki, maybe half an hour, something like that, from Helsinki, where you might be coming in case you're flying to Finland. That is, if you take to Finland a plane, boom, you land in Helsinki, you buy basically a train ticket or bus ticket, and you travel to Hyvinkää, some 30-45 minutes later or whatever, you're there actually, and then you just get your stuff to the hotel, which you should be booking right after you have been buying the ticket, and then you're ready to go, ready to party and see those great bands and meet your friends and make new acquaintances and all that stuff. Really simple. And hotels are not too expensive, at least if you're booking them, now. For example, I just booked my hotel like 30 minutes or 60 minutes before making this video. So better be an early bird and you get nice hotel with nice price and all that stuff. And the same thing obviously applies to making those plane tickets. And in case there is something you need to know which I haven't addressed with this video, drop me a comment or question and I will get back to you. There might be some questions, like, hey, what's this and that? What do I need to know? Blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm there to help you. And in case I can't help you, I will guide you to the right person. And also you will find more information about the fest from Steelchaos Facebook page. And in case you need to find more information about the city of Hyvinkää, city of Helsinki or Helsinki airport, that information should be there in English as well, in case you just need some help with the information and Finnish is not your first language. So I hope with this information and this lineup you're ready to go and get your ass to Hyvinkää in late October. Once again, should you need any help, put those comments and questions in the comment box below and I will get back to you. Now it's time me to bug off. Take care and see you in Hyvinkää.